Hi, I'm Dr. Christina Hibbert, author of Who Am I Without You? Today I want to show you how to use Thought Record Part 1. So if you haven't already printed off a copy for yourself, or if you haven't yet read the book Who Am I Without You, you're welcome to join us. Go to my website at whoamiwithoutyou.com and you can download and print your own copy of the Thought Record. Once you have that copy, let's go ahead and describe how to do this, because it can be a little difficult when you're first starting to try to separate your thoughts from your feelings, to understand when to use a thought record and how to really get stuff down on paper. But I can tell you that using a thought record is one of the greatest tools I've ever learned how to use. And it's helped me in my life in so many ways throughout many challenges and many difficult days. And it's really changed my thinking over time. So I'm hoping that's what this tool can begin to do for you. So let's look at it. If you look at the thought record here, and you probably can't see very closely, but hopefully you have your own copy. So we have these columns, which are date, situation, automatic thoughts, emotions, and rating. Okay, so what we first want to do is basically you want to use this thought record anytime you're experiencing any kind of powerful, overwhelming emotion. It could even be a positively overwhelming emotion. Maybe you've been really feeling kind of miserable for a while, but you have a really great day and you want to understand better why that day is going so well. Or it could be that you're feeling incredibly anxious on a day, or sad, or fearful, or you don't know what you're feeling. You just know that it is not a good day. We all have those days, right? Well, the thought record is a great tool to use on those days when any kind of overwhelming emotion comes along. So what you want to do is just briefly put the date and describe the situation. So the situation might be, I just got a text from my ex, okay? And that's all it needs to be. It's just enough to remind you of what was happening at the time so that you can go back later and look at it and start to see some of the patterns as we move through this part 1 and part 2 of the thought record. Then we list the automatic thoughts. And as it says on here, it says list your stream of automatic thoughts. Now we described in Who Am I Without You that automatic thoughts are thoughts that just come automatically. We don't necessarily invite them in, we don't want them, and a lot of times we don't always hear most of the automatic thoughts that come our way. And that's a problem because they still create that same kind of cycle of your thoughts affect your feelings, affect your body, and cause your body to respond. And all of those things create a behavior. And sometimes we end up behaving in ways we don't want to behave in because of our thoughts. Okay, so if we can get into that cycle and change those automatic thoughts and eventually, make them something more realistic, more truthful, then we can change that whole cycle and change how we behave and how we feel and how our body responds to the situations in our life. So that's our goal. But for now, what we want to do is just start to hear the automatic thoughts. So I want you just to practice with Thought Record Part 1, stopping as soon as you can after the tough situation. Let's say the situation was you get a text from your ex. Your feelings are anxiety, stress, anger. He's not supposed to be texting me. So you start hearing these things in your head. If you stop and listen as soon as you can after the incident, you'll hear things like, he's not supposed to be texting me. I thought we agreed that he was going to leave me alone. I can't believe he's doing this. What a jerk. I mean, who knows what you're thinking, right? But these are all automatic thoughts and you can list them here. And then as you listen more, you might hear deeper thoughts like, I really feel I have no control in this situation and it is driving me crazy. He's really sending me mixed messages and I don't know how to handle it, okay? So we want to listen to these thoughts and write it down as many as you can. Now, I find that it's really easy when I do therapy with people when they bring in their thought records, because even if they can't hear their own thoughts, as soon as they start telling me the story, I can hear all the thoughts because the thoughts are essentially the sentences of the story. He called me and he wasn't supposed to. I was freaking out. I feel like I have no control. I can't handle this. I mean, I just can write them down for them. So if you're having trouble hearing and identifying your thoughts at first, it can be very helpful to go to a counselor who can help you with this, but also to seek help from a friend or family member, someone that you trust and love, that you could just tell the story to, tell the situation to, and have them sit down and write off the thoughts that they hear. That can be very helpful. So if you're struggling with that, then go ahead and enlist some help. Then we have our emotions, and as you heard in my example a few minutes ago, there is usually more than one emotion. And this says identify all your emotions and feelings. So, you know, it might be that at first you're just angry. Then you realize you're really kind of afraid because maybe you don't know what to expect from the situation and you don't know how to handle it. Maybe you feel sad that things have turned out this way. You know, as you listen to your feelings and feel what's going on in you, you will probably identify more than one. And I want you to write down as many as you can. And then you rate the emotions from 1 to 10. 10 being the most powerful, overwhelming, can't handle it emotion, 1 being not that big of a deal. And that's it for thought record number 1. As we move into thought record number 2, we'll start to challenge these thoughts. But for now, I want you to, number 1, pull out your thought record anytime an overwhelming situation comes. And number 2, stop and try to hear what you're thinking and write it down on your paper, even if it's the next day or the next couple days later. As soon after as you can stop and think about what you're thinking, you'll get more information. It'll be much richer, but it doesn't have to happen in the moment. Usually that doesn't occur until you've worked on this for a while. But stop and write down your thoughts. And number 3, stop and pay attention to what you're really feeling. And what we're really learning here is how to separate your thoughts from your feelings, to realize that your feelings are, you know, what you feel, but your thoughts are kind of this stream of consciousness, these ideas, beliefs, as we'll discover in thought record number 2, and that they are separate and that they are not always one and the same, even though they feel like it sometimes in these crazy intense situations. Okay, so that's how we do thought record number 1. I want you to work on this for at least a week to get really good at it, get the hang of it. You might decide to share it with somebody you trust, or at the end of the week, I suggest you go back and look through the situations and the thoughts and the feelings and start to see, is there any kind of pattern here? Every time my ex tries to get in touch with me, I feel this way, I think these things, I think this one belief that's just not true, like I can't handle it, or you know, he's completely controlling me. Well, does that have to happen? And that's what we're going to look at in thought record number 2, is how to change those beliefs and thoughts that we don't like, that aren't helpful, that aren't true. Okay, so for now, work on thought record part 1, and join me on my website at whoamiwithoutyou.com to download part 2 of the thought record when you're ready, and to also see other videos and tools that can help you through your difficult relationship loss or other situations in your life that are difficult as well. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody.